Welcome back to Matterley Basin for the second of the FIM MX1 Motocross Grand Prix races here. It's round 13 of the World Championship. My name's Paul Maiden. You join us on what has been a festival weekend of motocross. Temperatures starting to drop a little bit. It's a little bit cooler, getting a bit more cloud cover. But this 1,640-metre long circuit here at the British Grand Prix in Matterley Basin is going to be a tough challenge for the MX1 guys as they go out there for around about 40 minutes. 35 plus 2 laps. As always, a little bit of water gone down in one or two positions out on the racetrack just to keep the warm and breezy conditions at bay. But Kevin Strybos, one of our onboard cameras there, sitting and waiting patiently behind the start line. There's Sean Simpson, number 24, the 30 of Gregory Aranda, the 999 of Rui Gonçalves. This is how they lined up from the qualifying race on Saturday. Tony Cairoli from Max Nagel, Didika and the rest. And in race one, it was Tony Cairoli who led every single lap around here. 19 laps for him. Fastest lap as well for Tony Cairoli, 1:59.3 on lap 4. Ken Didika was in second for much of the race, 12 of those laps, and eventually it was Max Nagel who came from 5th position, carved his way up into second by the time the checkered flag fell. Didika was third, so it was a Red Bull KTM 1-2-3. Gauthier Paulin had a good ride, came from around about 7th or 8th on the opening lap, eventually came home 4th, edging out his teammate Xavier Borg. So the two Kawasaki Racing Team riders were there perfectly positioned, 4th and 5th. Commander Sal, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider, was 6th, having started in 4th position, and then it was Strybos, Barragan, Porcel and Nick Oban. Well, this is MX1 race 2, and the 15-second board is already up. It turns to 5. The gate is about to drop here, and it does so. And we zoom in towards that first turn, and it's Max Nagel gets one of his lightning fast hole shots. A couple of riders there all over the place going through that first turn, and immediately they go from the smooth first turn to that very choppy straight down past pit lane. Everybody through in the top there. We had carnage here in the opening lap of the first moto in MX1. 5 or 6 riders, maybe even more than that, going down. Sean Simpson, one of those in the first race. But we've got Tony Cairoli there in second position behind Max Nagel. But Cairoli, oh, a little bit, wow, that was very, very close. And the guys getting into all shapes and sizes over there. Rui Gonçalves and Cairoli almost colliding, going up and over the hill there. Cairoli got it wrong, so too did Gonçalves. Bit slick here in this turn 7, top of the hill. Or turn 8, I should say. Cairoli a little bit short there. He'll want to find a way past Max Nagel as quickly as possible. Nagel will want to try and go on and lead a few laps here, though. Mistake there from Nagel. Cairoli gets good drive, runs it alongside Nagel. And he goes through. So Tony Cairoli straight back out in front on the opening lap here. Got better drive through the wave section and puts his teammate back down into second position. Now, the interesting thing here would be whether Nagel can respond to that and go with it. Wet and slick down there on the off-camber, turn 14 on the exit point there. As everybody tries to deal with that, a lot of accelerating bumps coming out of there. Very, very tricky for the riders, but it's Nagel who's just been passed by Tony Cairoli. Rui Gonçalves is third. We've got Bobashev in 4th position. Oh, very close between Bobashev and Ken Didika. But Gauthier Paulin up there as well. But they're about to come through over the line for the first time. There's Bobashev, there's Gauthier Paulin, so he's gone past Bobashev. There's Didika, Xavier Borg, Commander Sal, and it looked like maybe Sebastian or Christophe Porcel, but here we go. Cairoli leads from Nagel second, Rui Gonçalves in third, the 999 Honda, that's him there. Then we've got Gauthier Paulin, the number 21 Kawasaki French rider, Bobashev 5, Didika 6, Borg 7, Desal 8, Porcel 9, Sebastian. Then we've got Guarnieri, Barragan, Simpson down in 12th, Christophe Porcel in 13th place, Graham Irwin 14th, Tanel Leon, Kevin Strybos, Milko Podizet, Alex Snow, Jamie Law and Nicolas Oban on the Bill-based Honda down in 20th position, Christian Watley down in 28th on the Monster Energy Yamaha, and that's pretty much it for now. But Ken Didika looking interested in going past Evgeny Bobashev and Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffroad.com as Didika does go through. Adam Wheeler joins me Adam, a great MX2 race just a moment ago. Great atmosphere out there.
Oh, it's fantastic. We were just standing on the bank in there, Paul, and you can just, you know, you really felt the vibe from the crowd. I mean, it's so humid out there. It's so stuffy. I mean, we shouldn't complain about great weather in England, but, you know, it was a fantastic occasion, really.
And what about this MX1 race? He came in just after the start, first turn. Max Nagel got a great hole shot. Tony Cairoli just passed him through the waves towards the end of that first lap. Cairoli looking supreme at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was really easy for Tony in the first race. It's a case of who can step up here, Paul. I mean, we've got Clement Vassell carrying a hand injury. Christophe Pourcel crashed in the same place that he did last year, yesterday. He's a bit stiff. He's not feeling too good. So from the rest of the group, it's a question of, come on, guys, who can push Tony and give him a run?
Yeah, who can step it up themselves. But Gauthier Paulin in the first race made a little bit of progress to get through to fourth place. The only real challenger for him or threat was, I guess, his teammate, Xavier Bourg, but he was already a mile off of Kenda Dyker and Max Nagel and Tony Cairoli. He'll be looking for bigger things in this second race, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Xavier Bourg perhaps a little low on confidence, but then also riding for a deal next year, Paul. So everybody's got their little agenda, but you've got to be looking at settled riders like Kenda Dyker, like Gauthier Paulin, especially Evgeny Bobrishev, who must be riding, just trying to vent some frustration out from what a terrible season really he's had. Yeah. I mean, those guys, you know, you have to be saying, come on, let's get something going here. Cairoli's just coasting from lap 5.
Well, fastest lap on the official first lap recorded, 2:02.2 for Tony Cairoli, already almost 2 seconds clear over Max Nagel, who's actually the Red Bull KTM rider, back from injury, had a great Czech Republic Grand Prix, didn't he, Adam Wheeler? Yeah. And is having a sensational one here. Yeah, it was a good result for him in the first race. Max Nagel second.
Yeah, I think sorry, Paul, I had to cut across here. I think he defied expectations really in the Czech Republic. People knew he could be quick, but whether he could last, and he went the distance. You know, Max has got to be on the podium soon.
Jonathan Barrigan just down the inside of Sebastian Pourcel, nicks a position as well. That's for 9th place. As David Guarneri looking nervous, looks over his shoulder, but Sebastian Pourcel fighting back.
And the riders, you know, a lot of the feedback the guys I've spoken to, they're loving the track out there. I mean, they're saying there's so many places to pass, a lot of different options, and you know that's not always the case on some of the GP tracks we get. A fantastic diversity in the circuits we have in the World Championship, but you know this really is one of the best.
I think, I mean, I can see it from here, from this point of view, that normally tracks are really, you know, deeply rotivated, and then they get watered, maybe a little bit heavily in some cases, depending on the weather and where we're at. But not a great start there for Kevin Strijbos, buried down in 15th now as we enter the end of lap 2. But great start for Max Nagel.
Yeah, the sound really just caught there by Cairoli and made him lose at least 3 or 4 positions. Lucky not to crash.
But yeah, when it's deep like that, it already starts to set a precedent in terms of lines get already too deep in the track. But here, the guys can cut across corners, can't they? Yeah. You know, it's not deep on the straight, it's actually quite firm, and they're just doing enough to keep the dust down, to keep it a nice firm surface. So I don't know if that's just the nature of the ground. It's quite hard underneath anyway, but even still, it's a fantastic condition, a great place for the guys to go out there and apply their trade.
You know, it was quite slippy yesterday, but there seems to be a bit more traction in there, you know, through the motos today. I mean, the track has definitely held up well after 4 days. Well, this is the 4th day of action at this MXGP festival. You know, and I think the riders, you can see, I mean, Clement Vassell yesterday was fast in practice until his crash, and he said he was having fun, which he hasn't really mentioned for a couple of GPs. But it seems like the guys can change, Paul. You know, it's not too difficult to really switch the lines and sections, and that's what's been missing in the last couple of tracks we've had.
Rui Gonçalves, bit of a bobble in that left-hander at turn 5. He's still there in 3rd position, though. But Gauthier Paulin in 4th place, Dyker 5th, Evgeny Bobrishev in 6th, just dropping into view down the hill. Then it's Clement Vassell, Xavier Bourg, Sebastian Pourcel and Jonathan Barrigan. Christophe Pourcel still not making any inroads on a circuit that I would have expected him to do well on, but he had a crash yesterday, didn't he? Yeah. How's he feeling after that? Was he all right, just shaken up a little bit?
Yeah, I didn't speak to him, and like Christophe doesn't give too much away anyway, but you know, just the guys in his camp said he's feeling a bit stiff and not really, you know, in tune with it, which is like a shame because, like you say, last year this was the first track where we saw him clicking back into that old sort of Christophe Pourcel mode of just being able to guide that bike at will and do things that people, you know, other people weren't doing.
Yeah, but again, track conditions might be slightly different to what they were last year. Maybe a little bit, maybe more traction or more sticky. I don't know.
I think they're better than last year. I think it's just a little bit more loose and, you know, like I said, there's a bit more freedom, a bit more liberty for the guys. I mean, this section here last year was really rutted and there was one, you know, clear line that was working, whereas, you know, there's a couple of different options like we saw Herlings trying in that second MX2 race.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Barragán, I'm a little bit surprised by him because, you know, again, there's another rider that's really just trying to salvage his career. But, you know, he's not doing too badly here on, like, you know, a bumpy track, and he's been trying to sort out that suspension for most of the season. In 10th place, I mean, he's not exactly breaking records, but, you know, again, he's getting plenty of TV coverage.
Yeah, well, Guarneri has gone by Barragán, so Guarneri going to be 11th because Sean Simpson breathing down the back of his neck on that Monster Energy Yamaha just there, number 24. But then we've got, ooh, that was a bit naughty. These two going at it. Xavier Bourg and Commander Sal. This is for 7th position. Xavier Bourg takes a look over his shoulder. Sal not going to get through there, though. So Bourg now in 7th, Sal in 8th. And from Sal's point of view, this is looking like championship over, isn't it? And I'm not saying it's over, but you know, when we look at Sweden, 43 points clear, Tony Cairoli. He went away from there 3 points down.
Yeah.
It's already 40 points now, and he's already reached that point as it is at the moment that he's exceeded those 43 points, Tony Cairoli.
Yeah, Clement's not a slow rider, but he's not better than Tony Cairoli in the sand. And we go to Lirop next, and then we've got the Italian Grand Prix on a very hard-packed track on the hill of Faenza. So, you know, I think it's just a matter of motos now for the Red Bull KTM rider.
Well, there's Guarneri taking a look over his shoulder as he goes up the hill with the fluorescent helmet. Sebastian Pourcel, number 11, just making a bit of a mistake there. And this corner, that's where Herlings crashed in the first race. It's very easy to do that. You get on the gas, the front end gets away with you, and those ruts do get a little bit deep at the top there, and they're quite hard as well. And once you get out of them, the front wheel is easy just to tuck under and go down. And obviously Sebastian Pourcel there almost having one of those moments.
And Didika really on the gas as well. But in that motor there, when Herlings went down, it was, you know, like somebody had scored a goal in football or soccer. It was the tension was really, really high. You know,
which motor?
Oh, well, the first one, I think.
It was the first one as well, yeah, because I mean, I could even hear it from here. Didika, turn 14, the off camber, the long right-hander gets himself stuck. What are you doing, dude? Get yourself up. They'll avoid you, don't worry.
That was the commentator's cue then, really. You want to, you know, want to talk anything else about perhaps some green fencing or something like that, Paul? Because you know, Kendis obviously was, you know.
And I've noticed actually it's always you.
Yeah, it's your turn now, yeah.
So Ken Didika then goes out of 5th position on the Red Bull KTM. He's behind Commander Sal, I think.
Yep.
Yes, he is. So he's going to be in 8th place. There's Sebastian Pourcel, number 11. He's in 9th. And we've got Guarneri, Barragán and Simpson. Leop in 13th. And Christophe Pourcel still down there in 14th. And Kevin Strybos making no inroads either. Graham Earl and Nick Oban, Alex Snow. And Cairoli breaks the beam, 201.2, fastest man on track by about 0.6 of a second.
Well, I don't know what Tanon Leop's doing on that second factory Suzuki, but I mean, he's fit. I mean, this is the first part of the season where he's been fully 100%, and you know, he just didn't get the start. Had a mechanical problem yesterday, was really low down in the gate, and just. You know, he says the first couple of laps he just has trouble getting by people, but it's costing him. I mean, he's down in 13th position, but he can run a pace that will probably challenge for the podium. Yeah,
and he's always good in the second half of the moto, but he was down in 12th place for all but 3 of the laps, and then he suddenly found his form and then caught Guarneri. But one place is not enough, is it, when you're a factory Suzuki rider?
The Sal, I think, is just looking for a way to pay Boog back for that little block pass at the top of the hill.
Yeah, Xavier Bourg, like saying Adam Wheeler. Locks it up, spins round to Sal. He'll say, thanks very much, buddy. I'll have that back. And didn't need to exert any extra effort to do that. But Ken Didika, I think he'll find his way back past as well. Xavier Bourg and maybe even Commander Sal. He made that mistake. He needs to find those 2 positions back. But having a great second half of the season, Ken Didika on that Red Bull KTM.
Much improved, you know, since signing the contract as well to be a KTM rider next year. It's almost like he's settled. But I mean, you know, in the space of one lap there, Paul, we've seen a visual example of how difficult this track can be. Ken Didika just washing the front out on a little bit of that loose soil, and then Xavier Bourg just trying to square it off, but perhaps getting a bit too much traction, really.
Well, this is where Didika lost his front wheel. What you can't see is how off-camber that is. I mean, it looks good there, but when you're actually on that corner, it's a lot steeper. TV always flattens everything out. Of course it does. Same here with the downhill. You don't see how steep that is into the face of that takeoff, and that step down there under the Monster Energy banner. But Ken Didika, though, trying to find his way back through. He's found a way past Xavier Bourg. That puts him into 8th place? No, 7th place.
7th, yeah.
Because Commander Sal just ahead of him. Well, still 22.5 minutes. Cairoli 3.5 seconds clear of Nagel. Ken Didika looking to find a way past Commander Sal, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki MX1 World Rider, as they go through turn 2, dropping downhill. Did you see Commander Sal's crash in the qualifying race? We just saw him getting back, picking himself up. It was just here on the outside of this turn, but at the top of the hill in turn 8, wasn't it?
Well, actually, for viewers that saw the first MX1 race where Ken Dodika went off the track, where he just, you know, went overdid the double and went off the circuit. Well, coming up to the corner a minute as Ken really laid it down on his Motocross of Nations teammate, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, he just got a little bit of line on this jump here. The Sal went a little bit to the right, and then just overcooked this jump and went off the side and landed, you know, completely off. Nearly cleared out a couple of photographers. Yeah. And you know, he's been nursing a painful hand since then, and it's a real shame because I think from the speed he showed yesterday, he could have been the one that challenged Cairoli. Yeah. And but never want to shirk his responsibilities, is he, Commander Sal? He will ride through the pain barrier. Mistake there. That's one of those areas you can't see how deep and slick that is, but almost cost him a position there to Ken Dodika. A nice corner now, this. Like you say, Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffroad.com. That was a deep rut last year, wasn't it? Didn't offer the riders too much incentive to find anything else, but you can square each other off and you get on the gas nice and early. Ken Dodika, perfect example there of that. Yeah, it's a teasing little corner, you know. Ken's going to go up the inside here. Is he going to? Ooh. That's a teasing little corner, you know. I think Jeffrey Hurling's had a go at it in the MX2 race, and you know, Tommy sort of shut it off straight away, and I think he needed to. But yeah, there's a couple of corners like that. It's good stuff, and the riders are responding because you see some real close racing out there.
And great for the fans as well.
Actually, Paul, I wanted to tap into your encyclopedic knowledge. When was the last British winner of a home GP?
In MX2?
I think just over in generally any class.
MX2, Tommy Searle, 2007, Donington Park.
Was it Donington?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Billy's were before that at Garda White.
That was a moto win.
Yeah. Coleman was a moto win at Matchams Park.
In 2005.
Yeah. James Dodd was 2000 at Fox Hills in the mud. And yeah, since then, well, we were here last year, there was no British winner. Although Tommy Searle got on the podium here for the first time, or well, the second, well, it was first time, wasn't it? 06. Yeah. So obviously this place being good for him, but yeah, I think Tommy Searle, certainly for him, hasn't won a British Grand Prix since then. Yeah. And that puts him as the last rider to win. Can't think of anybody else.
Oh, the Searle!
Back end came around. Back end came around. Just
couldn't hold on to it.
Sure, we'll see a slow-mo of that, but again, just you need to respect the track. It looks grippy in some places, slick in others, and until you actually get down and get the knobbles in the ground, difficult to see where that traction is. So Commander Sal losing a position. Sebastian Pourcel all over the back of him.
It's actually pretty stony out there as well. I mean, there might be some, I haven't walked the track, but there might be some corners that are actually a little bit more gravelly than others, and you know, I think that's what we're seeing in a few places. I mean, Hurling's to crash twice in one weekend is a little unusual.
It is. I mean, uncharacteristic mistakes, but it just goes to show the pace that those two guys, Tommy Searle and Jeffrey Hurlings, were pushing. And Hurlings was having to ride just that extra bit harder just to make up the time, especially in the first race. He'd come from a few seconds back. He'd closed it down from about 6 seconds, hadn't he? And then obviously just lost the front up there. Second race, didn't see the crash there, but he'd lost again about a second and a half. But look at that. Front end, just freshly watered, a little bit wet, a little bit loose. The ground just pushed away. Got his leg caught under the bike as well. Yeah, couldn't get out of it. Kept the engine running though.
It's not really a happy Belgian. Hasn't had the best season really, has he?
No, and I mean, he's been pretty consistent in his races. There was only the 18th in Bulgaria in second moto, and the 13th in Brazil. Other than that, he hasn't been lower than. A 7th, but other than that, first, second, third, or fourth. Yeah. You know, but Tony Cairoli has just been that little bit more confident and picking up more race wins. So it's just how it's been, hasn't it? Anyway, I think we're looking at Tony Cairoli, who's 3.8 seconds clear, not looking like he's trying, and we're going down the pit lane. So here's Amy.
Joining me in the pit lane, Mr. Kratos, the organiser of the Thai GP next year. The last time we saw you was in Brazil. Why are you here?
Yeah, oh well, I have to be here, you know. British Grand Prix is the most exciting and needed. The festival cannot be here. Cannot, I must come here because, it's the longest motocross history in the world here in England, and you're British, right? And anyway, but we have to be planned the best event for the next year in the Thailand Motocross Grand Prix, and that's why I'm here.
Nice. And you participated in the MXGP Festival this year. How was the experience? Are you looking forward to your home Grand Prix?
ผมได้มาแข่งในนามประเทศไทยนะครับก็ตอนนี้มีเวลามาทำการฝึกซ้อมหนักไว้มานะครับก็เลยทำให้การขับขี่เลยยังไม่ดีครับแล้วก็ยังไม่ผ่านรอบควอลิฟายนะครับแต่ก็เป็นประสบการณ์ที่ดีครับผมแล้วก็ขอขอบคุณทางสปอนเซอร์นะครับ FAM เอเชียนะครับแล้วก็ FMSCT Thailand ครับแล้วก็Big Boss ของมอนเตอร์นะครับแล้วก็ทางผู้จัดนะครับแล้วก็ AP Honda Thailand ครับ
Okay, so that this is the first time that he comes to the British Grand Prix, and of course, it's not a very good result, not qualified, but for sure that he's gonna do much better time, and of course, for the exciting for the Thailand Grand Prix, he would like to invite all the people to tour to Thailand. And Leslie, he would like to thank you to FM Asia, to Ustream, and to FMCT, and also to the AP Honda for supporting he to be here. And thanks to you too, Emily.
Nice to have you here.
Thanks, Emily.
I think the enthusiasm was the
he's a great guy. I met him in Brazil, and I mean, he's a larger-than-life character. He really is, and didn't expect to see him here this weekend. Saw him on, I don't know, how long have we been here now? Thursday? Friday. And great guy, and I hope that, we have a good track down there, and we have a good reception. A lot of fans. We saw it in Russia. There was a lot of fans there, and we've seen great fans in Brazil as well, didn't we? In the flyaway races. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything like the quality and organisation to that event, measuring that guy's enthusiasm, then it's going to be a real special Grand Prix to kick off 2013. Xavier Borg on one of the south, just probably going by here. We'll be picking up 7th place if Paul makes this move. I was just looking at Gautier Paulin there, Paul, in 4th position. What has happened to him? I mean, I think it's like 3 or 4 GPs now. He hasn't finished in the top 3. I'm just looking at your chart for the last 5 races. It's quite extraordinary how he's sort of dropped off a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I personally think that, he's a fit guy, he's a strong guy. We saw that in MX2, and I think that's the problem. I think he's trained in the normal way because of the one-off results that he had at the Nations and that kind of thing, thought, I can ride at 450 or whatever, but the season goes on, you're traveling, you carry all little niggles and that kind of thing. To do it time in, week in, week out, I think he maybe just ought to change the training program that he's carrying. It might just be that he, wherever he's training, whoever he's training with, don't know if he has a personal trainer or who it is or whatever, or what kind of training he's doing. Obviously, can't really say in that respect, but it might just be something like that. Might just have to, ride it out this season, sit down, look at himself, look at the training program and say, right, this is where we need to improve. And the second half of the season is where you need that fitness to come into its own, mentally, physically, and everything else.
Yeah, because I think he needs to improve. The first 2 to 3 GPs were astounding, and Christophe Pourcel actually sort of said to me at that time, Gautier's really quick and he looks smooth on the bike, but he's got a lot to learn about lasting the whole season on a 450, and he was proved right. Yeah,
and I think that might just be all it is. You can sit there and say, I need to ride harder in the week or need to train harder, but if you're only doing the same but doing it harder, you don't want to be training hard now. You need to be doing all that hard work in the winter and before the season starts, and then tapering it off, and then doing something consistent, because your base fitness will be there, your base strength, your core strength will be there, and then you're just tapping into that, whatever you're doing. A lot of guys, do long cycle rides, for instance, and maybe don't do a lot of weight work, but a lot of it will be a cardiovascular routine just to keep on top of what they've built up during the winter. So maybe that's all that needs to change for Gautier Paulin.
We lost Sean Simpson somewhere, because that's Tamil Leog. He's just passed Simpson, I think, for
just
11th
there
place.
In the background. So Ranieri, Leog and Simpson. So it was Ranieri, Simpson and Leog. So Leog once again second. A little bit Mike Morocco in that respect, isn't he? The American hard charger. Just needs better starts. Yeah. And it's strange that you know, then that comes down to the person, doesn't it? Because we've seen Tomoda Sal make better starts than Tano Leon. Okay, he made a good start in Brazil. He led a race for a little bit in the mud, but other than that, you know, Leon hasn't been getting the starts like Tomoda Sal has. So then it either comes down to ride and reaction time, maybe. Yeah. Because the bikes are pretty much identical anyway in terms of what the gearing they're running and everything else. So it's not even down to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his jumps from the start gate are too bad, but it's just the first 2 or 3 laps he's in reverse. Yeah, and he'll admit it as well. It's a little bit of a mental thing. But I mean, we're looking at these television pictures here. We've got Xavier Borg, we've got David Guarneri and Tano Leon, Sean Simpson as well. Even Seb Porcel. He's got him, yeah. Seb Porcel just ahead. This gaggle of riders, Paul, they're all looking for deals for next year. I mean, MX1's very much a team's market. They can, you know, pick and choose from that little group. David Philipparts and Max Nagel perhaps at the top for the pickings, and there's 2 kind of factory saddles left in Honda and Suzuki. So, you know, I think Max Nagel's doing really well to be in second, but I think it's been a busy weekend for him with talks going on as well.
Yeah, and obviously those talks are still ongoing, but Gautier Paulin up the inside of Rui Gonçalves finally gets up in the 3rd position. But I mean, we're not surprised to see him there, but it's just taken him so long to get there. But you can't take anything away from Rui Gonçalves either. He's a good rider, he's a fit rider, you know, strong and talented and all the rest of it. But again, you know, making good starts and obviously putting himself in a good position towards the end of the moto, just to keep on top of those good points.
Yeah, just looking at your chart there, Paul, in round 8, we're on round 13, and round 8 in Bastogne was the last time Gautier Paulin was in the top 3 of a moto. Yeah. So, you know, it's an overdue, it's a welcome return, because the kid is phenomenal on a bike. I mean, in pre-season photo shoots and everything, he does stuff on a motorcycle that, you know, I haven't seen anybody else do. And, you know, just do it on the racetrack, kid. And even at the start of the season, he was very open, wasn't he? Very welcoming. You know, the second half of the season has almost been a little bit reclusive. Yeah. You know, because obviously the form hasn't been there, the confidence hasn't been there. But when you go into hibernation, that doesn't help improve the situation either. So anyway, good to see him back in 3rd place in the 2nd race here, Gautier Paulin. Just over 10 minutes plus 2 to go, and the 2 Honda World Motocross riders, Rui Gonçalves 999 and Evgeny Bobryshev 777, battling over 4th position. And Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffroad.com, Bobryshev needs a result, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh, he needs a big confidence injection, you know. I think Honda would be kind of saying, look, you know, what's going on? Because they probably expected a little bit more of him, especially after the win last year in Germany and then coming back from injury to win again in Germany. And he hasn't really looked like being able to challenge from Cairoli, and passes Rui Gonçalves a little bit too easily there from one liking.
But yeah, just looking at the lap times there from Bobryshev, 2:03.2 compared to Gautier Paulin 2:02.6. I was just wondering whether there'd be an opportunity for Bobryshev to get a 3rd place finish, because obviously not even been anywhere near, has it? Yeah. Rui Gonçalves got one earlier on in the year, first moto in Latvia.
Well, Paulin's in sight, isn't he? We just saw him at the top of the picture there, and Rui 2 seconds slower on that last lap, so he's keeping on the back wheel of Bobryshev, but I doubt he's going to fight back. Dyker some way off, 9 seconds behind these 2.
Yeah, Bobryshev on the charge. Be interesting to see now whether he can dig deep and go after, because there's no pressure on him now. He's got his contract for the next 2 years. He's, you know, now knocking on the door for a podium. You can see Gautier Paulin just disappearing out of sight in the corner. It's down to him now just to keep himself up on 2 wheels and make that happen. Yeah.
See if there was that Berrigan who was lapping?
No. 80, Nathan Watson. Right, getting ready to go down to pit lane as we look at getting Bobryshev. He's still there in 4th place, just past his teammate.
Joining me in the pit lane, Lorenzo Ressa. The first moto, the boys didn't have that much luck, but the second race, they're running 4th and 5th.
Yeah, honestly, the first moto was horrible for us, but the second one is really, really nice, and it's such a good day because we are in a fantastic location. It's great to have such a beautiful weekend and the sunshine in the UK. That is unusual for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorenzo.
Yeah, festival weekend of motocross, 4 days of action-packed racing from Thursday right the way through today. We've got one more race to come after this, race 2 for the EMX European UEM 250 Championship. Mel Pocock, Monster Energy Yamaha, the Brit, leading that championship. Had a tough time in Moto 1 yesterday, or a couple of days ago now, but looking at trying to put that right here in the second race after these guys, around about 10 past 5, something like that. Adam Wheeler on trackoffroad.com, Tony Cairoli, our leader in this. But we saw some great action, didn't we, in 65s and 85 Europeans. Some good kids to look out for on the horizon, particularly David Puchis, Conrad Muse, who won the second moto, and David Herbetrot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to have everybody here together, and I think, you know, the concept and the dream that Ustream were talking about, making this event happen, it's difficult logistically. It's, you know, in terms of organisation, it's a big old task, but you know, there's many reasons to be so positive about this sort of thing.
Were you here for the parade lap first thing this morning?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and, you know, that was a bit of a strange sight, wasn't it? Seeing the track so busy.
It was very, very busy. And the running joke when everybody came in was, where was Amy for the pre-grid interview? 350 riders out on track at the same time from 65 to MX1 guys. You know, the women were out there, Livia Lancelot. Here's Xavier Bourg and 121.
Sean Simpson.
Yeah, Simpson's in there, but look at that, the two Kawasaki's, Bourg and Sebastian Pourcel. So it's Sebastian Pourcel who's coming under pressure, it seems.
For 8th position, I think this is. Clement de Sal just ahead, going through those first ruts. Yeah, it's Clement de Sal and Tano Leoc. Yep.
So Leoc really putting the charge on now then, because he's got de Sal just ahead of him. De Sal in 7th position. Kenda Dijker, though, well, a ways ahead. He's like 11 seconds clear. As Milko Podolzek on the HDI Honda Friends machine, number 32, pulls over to the right-hand side of the circuit just there. And Podolzek out of the points at the moment. Just inside the points, though, Jamie Law, the STR racing KTM, Steve Turner racing KTM. Another point on the board for him, potentially just behind Graham Irwin on the JK Gemin Yamaha, and Alex Snow, number 82, Alfie Smith. So 4 Brits here in the points here on home soil. They'll be loving that, won't they?
Yeah,
you would think so.
Yeah, just looking down there, Christophe Pourcel in 16th place now, so it's...
And that's the thing with him, isn't it? It's either on or off.
Yeah.
And this time last year, he was very, very much on and not bringing his A game with him. Maybe that crash yesterday, we didn't see it. Not sure how he fell, but he was a little bit slow getting up and he just picked himself up and rode back to the paddock. So, as you said, the team saying he was a little bit stiff, battered and bruised, and obviously not feeling it this morning, this afternoon.
Yeah, it's pretty much ruined the Grand Prix in terms of... you know, Christophe, and we were talking about riders still trying to find arrangements for 2013, and of course he's right there as well. You know, a big Kawasaki fan, big Kawasaki rider. Where's he going to be, here or the AMA? It's still a big question mark.
Well, Clement de Sal coming under pressure from number 4, his teammate Tano Leoc. At the moment, it's Cairoli from Nagel. Gautier Paulin is 3rd. He's 3 seconds clear of Evgeny Bobryshev. Kenda Dijker in 5th place. Rui Gonçalves 6th. This is a battle for 7th. Number 25, the 2 Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 machines of de Sal, and number 4, Tano Leoc. And Xavier Bourg just there in 9th place in the background. He hasn't given up on this yet, and quite rightly so. Guarnieri just a few seconds, well, a couple of seconds further back in 10th place. So we're going to have certainly a two-way battle here for that 7th position. Clement de Sal and Tano Leoc, normally not easy to find a way, as you saw there from Clement de Sal. Knows exactly where the guy is behind him. Got good hearing, that's all I can say. But Tano Leoc jumps alongside his teammate. Clement de Sal takes a look over his shoulder. He'll get squared up here. They'll be side by side over the more my tabletop. But look at that, almost being outfoxed there was Clement de Sal. Maybe expecting his teammate to go around the outside.
I just wonder if there might be some kind of team orders or a little bit of thought towards that by Tano Leoc. I mean, Clement de Sal really needs kind of all the points he can get to, you know,
to be honest,
extend this championship.
Yeah, but the talk is that Tano Leoc might be looking for a ride next year as well. So if you hang behind your teammate for loyalty for now, when the championship's slipping away from Clement de Sal, you know, you need to go after the points and the positions to do the best thing you can do for a ride for next year. So he's caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, Tano Leoc, and I think he'll go by Clement de Sal in the next couple of laps. We've got 3:20 on the clock, plus 2 to go. A lap time here, 2:04, so another 4 minutes and 8, 4 minutes and 10 to add to that 3 minutes and 12. And look at that, up the inside, a mistake from Clement de Sal. Still hanging it in there, though.
You know, Tano Leoc's not really figured in the battle for any podium positions this year, but we have to talk about him here, Paul, because he was 2nd and 1st fastest in the practice session, so he's no slouch around this track.
No.
Just like...
Alongside him, got the right line coming up the hill, and Tano Leoc will.
That's where de Sal crashed yesterday. Went straight off there.
bar-to-bar action here as they come out of the turn. So, as we said a moment ago, Clement Desalle not making it easy for his teammate. That was almost a look over his shoulder saying, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you racing me? I am the team leader. So now Leon is just going to hang on there like a little pit bull terrier and go, you know what, I don't care about that. I'm team number 2. I need a ride for next year, maybe. And I'm going to make it difficult for you, so try and defend me.
Yeah, and Xavier Borg just off the bat thinking, how on earth do I pass these two?
Yeah, he's just a little bit off the pace at the moment to be even thinking about that at the moment, but great action, though, from Desalle again, getting out of the
He's
line.
holding him up. He's holding him up. He just needs to get by. This is the little bit hesitancy we were talking about earlier with Tanner Leo. If you just be a bit more tigerish and, you know, put the bike there, you know, very much in the same way that Clement Desalle does to some of his rivals, then, you know, he'll be away, I'm sure of it.
Bobble there from Desalle. But protects the line, just riding pretty much central, isn't he? He's making it difficult. If he goes up the inside, he's too tight for the turn at the top of the hill, Tanel Leon. Yeah. But if he goes around the outside, he's going to be in danger of being pushed wide. But this time, he makes it stick over the Monster Energy finish line jump, side by side, 15 laps complete. And Tanel Leon now moves up into 7th position, edging out his teammate, Clement Desalle, down the way.
And Desalle's lost 2 positions there on that. That line for him really on the outside just coming across is not working. I mean, it's leaving a huge door open.
Xavier Borg looks a little bit closer to Clement Desalle this time around as well. So is Desalle in danger of losing that 8th place to the Kawasaki 121? Certainly looks like it. Bobachev still about 3 seconds down on Gauthier Paulin, as Xavier Borg does look to go down the inside of Clement Desalle. Gets on the power, the Kawasaki rider gets alongside him, but Tanel Leon in all shapes and sizes at the top of the hill, cross-rutted.
3 of them together.
And Xavier Borg picks up 2 places in 1 corner. So Xavier Borg goes from 9th to 7th. Ooh, take out your teammate, why don't you?
I just think we had a shot there of Evgeny Bobachev. I was just checking your chart again. I think this is only the 2nd top 5 finish of the season for the factory Honda rider, so that's pretty astounding.
Yeah, after the success that he had last year, of course.
Yeah, no, I'm just counting there. 1, 2, 3. No, it's actually his 4th or 5th actually going through across. So he's done 5 top 5 finishes, and well, like you say, he needed it.
Yeah. Well, Clement Desalle has found a way back past Tanel Leon at the top of the hill after that mistake from the Estonian, and Xavier Borg's just cleared off and left these two. Look, these two Suzukis holding each other up. Tanel Leon drops it over his teammate, and a mistake there from Clement Desalle allows Tanel Leon to go through. So Leon now then back into 8th position, but all that hard work for nothing. He found a way past Xavier Borg, he found a way past his teammate, and then he just made that mistake at the top of the hill and threw it all away. Ranieri next.
Clement Desalle's in a different gear. You know, I think he just had a long look over his shoulder there to think, you know, have I got any breathing space? Can I just ease off? And the answer is a big no.
Yeah, he'll look up, see 3 laps on the clock up there, but Tony Cairoli, we haven't seen much of him. He's 9 seconds clear of Max Nagel at the moment.
Paulin all on his own as well. Bobachev 5 seconds behind, and well, Nagel 11 seconds ahead. More than that, actually. So
the top 20 looks like this then. Tony Cairoli clear at the moment from Max Nagel. So it's a Red Bull KTM 1 to the Kawasaki of Gauthier Paulin is in 3rd. That's him we're looking at there, number 21. Evgeny Bobachev on the World Motocross in 4th place as we look at Nagel in 2nd. Didika is 5th, Ruben Salves 6th, Borg 7th, Leon 8th, Desalle 9th, Ranieri 10th, Simpson 11th. And
sorry, Paul, I know you're reading down the standings there. I'll change your screen and just having a little look at the overall. And we've got Tony Cairoli, obviously the winner here, and then Max Nagel 2nd place on the podium. That'll be his first podium finish in 2012. And Gauthier Paulin 3rd.
And the points gap will go out to 53 if it stays like this, but Ranieri closing in on Clement Desalle. Tony Cairoli goes through, takes the 2-lap board in what has been a tough racetrack to come to in terms of the physical nature of it, the technical nature of it. We've had the weather as well. It's been a super hot day out there, but not being an easy ride for Cairoli, making it look very easy, but he's He's established himself at the head of the field very early on. 2 great starts. Wasted no time passing Max Nagel on the opening lap. And when he was there, he just opened that gap and is now there comfortable, almost 10 seconds clear. Great for Max Nagel, second in Moto 1, second in Moto 2. And as you alluded to earlier, Adam Wheeler, that everyone realised that Max Nagel would be pretty quick in the Czech Republic, but didn't realise how fast he would be. Got on the podium, of course, there. But here, 2 second places, it's clear that he's quicker than everybody else, and it's only Tony Cairoli that is the guy to beat, from his perspective.
Yeah, I think Max is still only 24. You know, and that's nothing. The question really is for Max, for the price he'll command as a rider. You know, it's not a question of what results he can get, but how long he'll get them for. And if you're going to make a big investment in a rider, you're going to need him to do the season. You're going to need him to finish the season. And I think Max has only finished 1 season in the last 4 or 5.
Guarnieri's gone by Dessau. Sean Simpson going ready to go there around the outside of him as well. So Dessau seems to have just switched off in this race. Don't know how bad the hand injury is, but it's almost like the title's just been thrown in here.
Yeah, I mean, you said 53 points a moment ago, Paul. That's 2 Grand Prix. We've only got 3 left to go. It's feasible he can win the title, the sixth one of his career, the 4th in a row, I think, in MX1.
Yeah, and once again at Lirop.
And Lirop, yeah. I see 2 titles there he's won.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be good if he could stretch out to Italy. It'd be some incredible scenes there, like in 2008 when David Philipparts was the first Italian to win the MX1 title.
I don't think he'll be worried about that. I mean, in terms of a title reminder, we only have to look at Ryan Villapoto, for instance. He wrapped up the title a week later, goes to his home race in Washington and pops a knee, and that was it, out for the season. Yeah. So Cairoli, he's been in that situation as well in 2008, but he'll be looking just to cruise around this last lap here, the Red Bull KTM factory rider.
I mean, he's based in Lommel. He's got a Dutch girlfriend, so I'm sure he'll consider Lirop, you know, second kind of home GP.
Yeah. GP 51 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Took his 50th Grand Prix victory 2 weeks ago in the Czech Republic and at Lockett, so he will move off level peggings. He will go 3rd now, push Joel Robert down to 4th in the all-time win list. He's been there since God knows how long. Since Joel Robert won his last title. Of which there were 6 in 250. But just making it look so easy, isn't he? Tony Cairoli talking to different people over the weekend, and some people saying, you know, who's going to be second this weekend and all the rest of it. Nice whip there for Cairoli. Knows where the cameras are, but obviously they're just saying that he is the man to beat. He's the guy that's, you know, making it look so easy, and you know, his PR skills, the media work that he does now, obviously bringing up a level in line with the likes of Valentino Rossi and you know, those guys. He knows what it's all about now, doesn't he? And he's enjoying his riding again.
Yeah, he's made the investment in the specialist to help raise the profile, you know, in Italy especially. You know, that's wholly commendable, really, of what Tony Cairoli is doing. I mean, here he's just been untouchable. It's you know, he's just cruising around, but he's still setting lap times that are, you know, among the fastest of the top 10. Yeah. I think I'm sure he can crank it up another 2 levels if he wanted to. Someone just played.
Lap 18, Tanel Leok sets his fastest lap of the race at 2:03.0. That's only 2 seconds slower than Tony Cairoli's fastest lap of the race that he did earlier on, but on lap 4. Yeah, Tony Cairoli on a cruise here. Talking about PR and media and everything else in Italy, Chiara Fontanesi was on the front page, or in the sports pages, in the biggest Italian newspaper this weekend, being the first Italian woman ever to win a Motocross World Championship. But Tony Cairoli makes it victory number 2, Grand Prix victory number 51, in a career that now sees him marching ever closer to World Championship number 6. Thanks, Adam Wheeler from On Track Off Road, for joining me in here yet again. And I'll let you get down to the press room, because obviously that's where it's all going to happen in a moment. But Tony Cairoli comes to Matterley Basin in Hampshire, wins the British Grand Prix round 13 of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship, does it in fine style as well.
Tony Cairoli, congratulations, another British Grand Prix win there for you.
Yeah, I'm happy. Everything went perfect. Also, the second start was really good, and I follow Max, and I pass him, and I tried to make some good laps, and it worked, so I'm really happy.
Well, then we'll see you on the podium in just a second.
No complaints from Tony Cairoli. Pretty happy, 50 points, and moves at least 53 clear of Clément Dessau. I think it'd be more like 55, but so far so good then, and a great weekend for Tony Cairoli. He's back in charge. Tony Cairoli turning on the style, turning on the British fans here. Lots of support here. He is your overall winner, and he wins it from Max Nagel here in Matterley Basin. Gauthier Paulin on the third place step of the podium. First time in a while for Gauthier Paulin since his second place in the first moto in Bastogne. Official rundown in just a moment, of course. Xavier Borg, 7th, and now Leoc got back to 8th. Guarnieri was 9th. Simpson was 10th. That pass on Clément de Sal with a lap or so to go. And then, yeah, de Sal down in 11th position. Oban 15th. Well, Tony Cairoli then wins race 2 from Max Nagel, Gauthier Paulin, Evgeny Bobryshev, Ken de Dijk, Rui Gonçalves, Xavier Borg, and Tonel Leoc eventually getting back to 8th. Guarnieri was 9th, Simpson was 10th, with de Sal down in 11th position. Strybos was 12th. And then you see the rest. Jonathan Barragan, Sebastian Pourcel, Nicolas Aubin, Christophe Pourcel, Alfie Smith, Mark de Ruva, Alex Snow, and Jamie Law. So Tony Cairoli then dominates the British Motocross Grand Prix, 2 wins out of 2 from Max Nagel, 2 second places for him. The overall Grand Prix, though, is going to be Cairoli from Nagel and Gauthier Paulin. Overall Grand Prix classification looks like this. Tony Cairoli, 50 points for him. Nagel 2nd. Gauthier Paulin on the podium. Again, it's been a while. Ken de Dijk 4th overall. Xavier Borg, Clément de Sal, Tonel Leoc, Kevin Strybos, Rui Gonçalves, and Davide Guarnieri. Good 4th place finish for Evgeny Bobryshev in the second moto, but obviously no points in race 1. And only good enough for 13th overall. In terms of the championship, though, before we came here, it was Tony Cairoli 30 points clear, with de Sal 2nd, Pourcel 3rd. Cairoli now moves 542 to 487, so that's 55 points with those 2 riders, Guarnieri and Simpson, going by. Christophe Pourcel, Gauthier Paulin still there, de Dijk, Strybos, Borg. Gonçalves still 9th, Simpson still 10th. But Nagel now 17th, 82 points from his 4 rides. It's pretty good going. He was 22nd before he came here, but he won't be too worried about that. He'll just be pleased that he's on the podium for the 2nd week in a row and showing a great deal of consistency. Max Nagel, 3rd and a 4th. 2 weeks ago, 2 seconds here. That's progress. He'll go to the sand of Lierop in 2 weeks' time, and there's no slouch in the sand either. Might be 1 or 2 surprises there. So Tony Cairoli leads the World Championship. And in the manufacturer's chase, as he extends his lead, so too to KTM. Kawasaki now 2nd, Suzuki 3rd, Honda 4th, Yamaha and TM. Looking for a double. KTM. Triple, because they on course as well for being the team of the year in MX1. But here's your overall podium for the first time, really, in a long time, since he was 2nd overall in Agada Gauthier Paulin, Kawasaki Racing Team, the official factory Kawasaki rider.
In second position, riding for Red Bull KTM, it is
Max Nagel, the Red Bull KTM factory rider. Second overall this weekend. 2 second places. Looks relaxed as well. Max Nagel found there. But Tony Cairoli, 2 more wins. Another Grand Prix victory to his tally. Lots of support all over the world. And fair bit here as well, but Claudio Di Carli, the team manager for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, MX1. Obviously congratulates both his riders, and then Gauthier Paulin of Kawasaki. But here's Brian Higgins, ACU chairman, 3rd place trophy for Gauthier Paulin. And that 3rd place finish was the first time since Bastogne, race 1, where he finished 2nd, Gauthier Paulin. 2nd overall, Max Nagel gets his trophy by Tony Skillington. FIM delegate. And our winner, Tony Cairoli, takes another winner's trophy. Number 51, Stefan Carapier of FIM Asia, the president no less. Another big smile for Tony Cairoli. Of course, Claudio Di Carli representing KTM this weekend. Tony Skillington once again doing the honours. Claudio Di Carli's trophy cabinet must be as big as Tony Cairoli's. Another red plate then for Tony Cairoli. Extends his championship lead now by another 25 points this weekend alone over Clément de Sales. It was 30, it's now 55. Things are looking good for the Sicilian. And here's the national anthem for Italy for Tony Cairoli. And once again, KTM, the winners this weekend. Here's the national anthem for Austria.
And now champagne celebration for our top 3. It is Gauthier Paulin, Max Nagel.
So Tony Cairoli takes his 51st Grand Prix victory here at the British Grand Prix at Matterley Basin on what was a festival weekend of motocross that saw the amateurs from 65 right the way through to the best in MX1 come together. Max Nagel on the podium for the 2nd successive week, and Gauthier Paulin for the first time since Portugal, since Belgium. I was right the first time. Was since Portugal. Here's what happened in race 2, MX1. The gate drops. Everybody got a good start, but none better than Max Nagel as he sided his way into the lead. Found a way past. Though did Tony Cairoli halfway round the first lap, and from there he never looked back. Was always very, very comfortable. Behind him though, there were all kinds of battles going on. Clément de Sales not making the best of starts. The 2 Hondas were in a battle. Ken de Dijker was coming through, and de Dijker was doing all right until he made this mistake here in 5th position. Actually worked his way back into 5th place, finding way past Rui Gonçalves along the way. 2 Kawasaki riders here. Number 11, Sebastian Pourcel and Xavier Bourg had their little moments, but it was Xavier Bourg who came out on top in 7th place. Tanel Liot pushed his way through, passing Tanel Liot and Xavier Bourg, and then he made a mistake and lost out to both of them in the same corner. The biggest winner there was Xavier Bourg, but the biggest winner of them all, Tony Cairoli, winning both races here in Great Britain. And normally, round about now, we'll get to speak to Tony Cairoli, but I think there's some kind of photo opportunity for all the winners from 65, 85 and 125 European and everybody just to have a photo moment. Tim Geiser there in the orange, the silver action KTM rider who wrapped up the European Championship in the 125 class earlier on. And he's up there. Of course, we've got our 85 winner, Davy Puches. He's in there. And the rest of the guys as well. Davy Puches, the kid from the Netherlands. So a bit of a special occasion for a lot of the riders. Just getting everybody in place. For that to take place, there's Dr. Wolfgang Schrub, Max Nagel, Tony Cairoli, Tim Geiser, Gauthier Paulin, Giuseppe Longo, the youth stream president, Dr. Wolfgang Schrub, of course. Puches, Tim Geiser. And it was Zillian Ramella in the 65 category. But it's been a great action-packed weekend here at Matchley Basin. The next race on the agenda, the final race of the weekend, will be coming in around about 10 or 12 minutes time. That will be the UEM 250 Race 2 European Motocross Championship. Mel Pocock currently leading that championship at the moment. So he's going to be looking to make amends for that difficult race that he experienced yesterday. Mel Pocock was fastest in the time training session in the UEM 250 race. There's Tommy Searle finding his way onto the podium as well to join them for that photo opportunity. Obviously just been off and got changed. But great day for the young kids that have been here this weekend to experience that. Back in a moment. Well, join us in 2 weeks' time when we go to the Grand Prix of the Benelux in L'Europe.